couple of months ago, I made a video entitled Our Society's Avoidance is Confusing to Me, and I'm coming here to you with a solution to that previous confusion. Now, just for a bit of a context, what I was talking about in that video is how we are oftentimes in social environments around other people, and we are just taught to obey the norm of avoidance. We just avoid one another, we pretend no one is around us, and then we are just alone. We scroll on our phones, we have our headphones on, like that's the normality. And if you don't use your device, you are the outcast, you are the weirdo, basically. I was confused as to how to navigate the desire to be more social with this social norm that everyone's obeying, with just being focused on solitude and on isolation as well, on just being on your phone. And the solution I have come with is to be selfish and arrogant, just like always. So basically, if you do feel the intrinsic need, the authentic need to talk to more people, go ahead and talk to more people. If you find yourself at the gym, for example, go ahead and approach people, being led by your natural curiosity. You see a person you admire, go ahead and tell them you admire them. As soon as you get the idea, just direct your body to them. Go ahead, tell them that compliment, and you're gonna have a bit of a nice conversation with them. Perhaps you're gonna get to know them better. Perhaps you've made a new friend now that you respect and admire. If you have some curiosity that your brain is generating, put it out there. There's no shame in doing that. And yeah, perhaps some people are gonna be like, I just wanna be alone. I want no one to disturb me. I'm just gonna have my headphones on. I'm gonna look down. I'm gonna be as cold as possible. If that's the case, if you want to approach them, you go ahead, you approach them. Okay, you don't care about like reading the room, reading the vibe. You can go ahead and approach them, and if they reject you, there is nothing wrong with that again. But you obeyed what you actually wanted to do, which is very important, because that's how you should live your life. And honestly, I think that if we manage to get more in touch with our authenticity, and if we manage to step away from the virtual world a bit more, we will all just realize that we do have an intrinsic need to talk to more people. And we should honor that need. There is no reason to run away from it, to just try to obey society's standards of avoidance. If you do feel like bonding to people more, go ahead and talk to people more. I give you my full permission. And I really want to create like a movement, honestly. A movement of normalizing talking to people, a movement of normalizing going out on the street and just being like putting your thoughts out there. Obviously, your positive thoughts. We don't want to go ahead and insult people dead on the street or something like that. But if you have a natural curiosity, if you have a question you want to ask someone, spit it out as soon as possible. Don't overthink it. Don't try to wrap it up in a nice present, in something that sounds cooler than it actually is. Just put it out there, authentically, without any fear, and you're just gonna see that magically that works the best. Magically, saying what's on your mind as soon as possible works a lot better than trying to craft the perfect thing that you're about to say. Because it comes from the heart, and that's the most important thing, and people sense that, and people appreciate that, people respect that. That's what everyone wants. No one wants the perfectly crafted question or answer or story. So the next time your brain tells you something positive about someone that's around you, really open your mouth and say it out loud. Like literally, you have so much value to gain from doing that. Number one, you're gonna become more part of the environment, you're gonna become less anxious because you've taken this quite uncomfortable action in the moment. And then two, you might also get a nice connection. Because everyone loves a compliment. If you admire something about someone, you say it genuinely, they're gonna love that. They don't get that every day because people just ignore them all the time. And you might just end up getting such compliments as well if you become this type of person who has a more like of a social vibe. Weirdly enough, what I found is that people do feel this social vibe in a weird way. Like if you are more inwardly focused, for example, in a certain day, there is no chance that people are gonna approach you. But if you are more of this positive vibe, I don't even know how to describe it. Perhaps there is something about your body language. Perhaps there is something about your energetic field that attracts people. But the chances of someone engaging in a conversation with you, approaching you, dramatically increase. And you can't really fake this. It's just like if you feel that nice social positive vibe, you're gonna project that outwards and people are gonna pick up on that, and your social life is gonna improve tremendously. That's just how it works. It's quite weird, and you just have to try it out for yourself and see this. This is such a healthier way of living your life than just being attached to your phone, to the virtual world, scrolling on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, on Reddit, all of these things. You take them in order, then you get back to the first one and you start this hell loop of consumption again. Instead of being on your phone so much, instead of listening to music that brings no value to your life, what if you were just to focus outwards more? To be more present, to observe the people around you more, to allow your natural curiosity to guide you. And like even in a conversation, even when you're talking to people, perhaps you're kind of looking for a script and confused of what's the proper approach of going for partaking in a conversation. What should you say? When should you ask questions? Again, just be guided by your natural curiosity. If you want to ask more questions. If you genuinely feel like sharing something about you, go ahead and share that. You don't even have to have like a common context to something that was talked about before, like a subject that was in the conversation before. You can just say whatever's on your mind, and it's perfectly valid. You really don't need all of these perfectly valid reasons that just make sense, because otherwise people are gonna think about you, and no one's gonna think about you. No one cares about you. And that is so beautiful because that is freeing. You can literally act however you want to act, and no one's gonna care about you because they really do have better things to focus on. You have the opportunity to create connections, to network with people, to bond with them, to enjoy your social life. You have these opportunities in every single day, in every single social environment you step foot into. The only thing you need is to take those opportunities, but the number one impediment will be your phone, because your phone is the easiest source of dopamine that's going to provide you a lot of comfort. So if you have the social media at your disposal 24/7, as soon as you feel a bit anxious, a bit of discomfort at the thought of approaching a certain person, you can just pull your phone out and like swipe a bit through the apps and start this hell loop of consumption. And it tricks your brain into believing that you don't need social connections at all. This is the sad truth. So if you were to just restrict your social media usage, if you include some app limits on your phone, if you try to stay away from social media more, your natural and authentic urges will surface. And when they do, you can just take them and use them to navigate your social life. And now when you're around people at the gym, at a certain shop, whatever, if your brain generates a certain thought, instead of you having the opportunity to go on your phone, you have your app limits there. You have to be present in the real world. So why not just go ahead and approach that person as soon as possible? Start a conversation with them. Again, just guided by your natural curiosity, just guided by whatever comes to your mind, because that is perfectly valid and that's going to attract the proper people too. Rejection is not bad, really. Rejection just means the two of you are not compatible. And that's good, that's alright. You can't be compatible with every single person. I know you know that already, it's common sense, so it's really not something you should be afraid of. And I'm telling you, when you live your life like this, when you take more of these social opportunities, just guided by curiosity, just guided by whatever comes up to you, your social life just feels so much better. Because now what you can do is you can play. You don't have to be defensive. You don't have to fear judgment. You don't have to fear not raising up to the occasion. You can just flow. You can just play. And the more you do it, the better it's gonna feel. And initially, obviously, you're gonna encounter quite a lot of resistance. Your ego is gonna try to pull you down. But you just have to show the middle finger to that ego and just be like, I don't wanna trust you anymore. I don't wanna listen to you. I know you're telling me to stay small and to not approach that person because people are gonna look at us and what are they gonna think? None of that matters. I'm gonna go ahead and approach them because that's what this long-haired guy said online. Just because that's what I genuinely feel like doing, whatever the reason. Just go ahead and take the action, and the more you take the action, the easier it's gonna become, and the more comfortable it's gonna become, the more you're gonna enjoy it, the more opportunities are gonna arise, and the healthier your life is gonna be. So it's a net positive. As I said, I'm really excited about this because I really wanna influence the world into being more connected, into being more social with one another. And I really believe that this social media addiction and this opportunity that we have to just go on our phones as soon as we feel a bit of discomfort, this is gonna ruin us unless we do take some action. So if you want to take part of this initiative, then just start taking that action, and I promise you, it's gonna be 100 times better than you actually do expect. And the return on investment is perhaps one of the best ones you will ever see.